there were so many bad calls in a timely manner against Miami that either stifled the drive or took it away from the blatant, where the guy literally pulls the arm down of the Miami receiver as he's potentially going to catch a touchdown. It's a pass interference every day, all day. The holding calls on Francis Maganoa, I didn't know holding, when you push the guy to the ground, that's holding. I assume in some realms it's called good blocking. I literally watched the same block in the NFL, and there's no call on it. I have an issue with the refs.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beardzone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos with me. And if you are a football fan in the state of Florida, this is the podcast for you. So do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and follow us along as we cover the Florida State Seminoles, the Miami Hurricanes, the Miami Dolphins, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are the four teams that we focus on. Pick and choose who you think is the fan of whatever team based off of the surroundings here. But today is the college episode every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is what we are going to dive into today. Carlos, it was a rough week for Miami fans last week across the board. Y'all went into SMU, and there's something about this team that they are starting to show. Why is it Miami every year in and year out, they get off to the hot start? They have a huge win up against Notre Dame earlier this year, which now looking at Notre Dame is starting to seem like, that's understandable. But, and then you guys continue to win. You have a big, win against the rivalry FSU a few weeks back. But then you dropped the ball against Louisville. We talked about it. It was a trap game. Those Friday games can be trap games. Then you had a good bounce-back game after a really weird first half of the football against Stanford. You guys bounced back in the second half, mainly due to the run game and the defense showing up. Carson Beck is still yet to be found. And then last week against SMU, turnovers, penalties, just you guys literally, you had everything in front of you to win that game, and you gave it away last week against SMU. So what's going on with Miami right now?
All right, I got two things. I'm about to do an Ace Ventura here, so everybody hold on. All right. I've been thinking about this, and I don't want to be this guy. I really don't. I've always said when it comes to refs, you still play the game. But I've watched a lot of football. I've watched a lot of football in 49 years. There are some calls. Here's why I bring this up. We have a huge basketball scandal that's betting. This scandal in basketball is going to bleed into football. But there were so many bad calls in a timely manner against Miami that either stifled the drive or took it away from the blatant, where the guy literally pulls the arm down of the Miami receiver as he's potentially going to catch a touchdown. It's a pass interference every day, all day. The holding calls on Francis Maganoa, I didn't know holding, when you push the guy to the ground, that's holding. I assume in some realms it's called good blocking. I literally watched the same block in the NFL, and there's no call on it. I have an issue with the refs. Here's the thing: Miami's filed a official complaint to the ACC for two things. One, the officiating. They had to file 2 weeks ago a complaint to the ACC that Ruben Bain is held on every play, and that for some reason the refs won't call it. So that the ACC opens an investigation on the refs. I don't want to be that guy, man, but man, how many penalties can you have not go your way? There's a footage, and if you can find it of Michael Irvin on that pass interference call, if you look at his eyes, you see it. It's Miami. You're not going to get the call, and we're going to make the bad call on you. The roughing the passer call on Lightfoot, really? it's allowed.
But roughing the passer calls and are always
They,
questionable anymore
but
because
they said it was due to the whistle blown, and you see him trying to hold the quarterback. I played in a with 30,000 people in high school. Loud is loud, and sometimes you don't hear whistles. You're focused in, and it takes a minute to hear the whistle. This is a young kid. He's in for pass rush only, and he belly bumps their quarterback and grabs him as this guy's flopping to the ground. You have two Miami defensive ends grabbing this quarterback to hold him, and then they're going to throw the flag. Come on, bro. We've seen it. The early call, next thing you know, running back takes off for a touchdown. Come on, at some point it's got to stop. I understand Miami has a bad boy image. If it
Oh
was,
my gosh,
come
you
on.
went all the way back to the Gators, so you've been holding this for a long time.
Oh wow, it's old. Like if you're gonna call a shitty game, call it shitty all the way through, man. Like give SMU these penalties as well. Like I'm okay with it, but man, when they're so open and you see it, you're like, how do you not see the defensive back pull the wide receiver when they're both in full? Like and the guy's looking at it. How do you not call that? Like I don't get it. That's a huge penalty. It takes Miami off the. It's a first down or take Miami off the field. Now, in hindsight, people are going to say, "Well, Miami should have blown them out. Should have done this." I'll tell you what. Those are the people who have never been in an important game or in high competition. I get it. You played high school football at your little high school. I get it, 100%. I'm sure it was fantastic when you were on JV. But when you're in a high pressure game, if you've never played, even if you're in high school, if you've never played in a playoff game or a state title game, your Friday games that are normal against whoever, that's not normal. That's little stuff. I've been in a couple of those games, man. It is different. It's just different. And as a Miami fan, it gets old. But nonetheless, they lose the game. Here's my other thing, and it's a question for everybody. Is Mario Cristobal college's version of Tony Dungy?
Oh man, as a Bucks fan, that hurts, but I can kind of see the comparison because the way that he's built teams, man. I mean, he builds contenders, that is for sure.
But he
He
doesn't
builds
win.
containers, but he doesn't win. But okay, hold on, time out now. Dungy did win with Indianapolis.
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought that up. He gave all free reign control to the Hall of Fame quarterback, Peyton Manning, and they literally told Dungy, you stay on the sidelines, you can play with the defense, but you're never going to touch this offense. And that's the only reason they won. Gruden brings in 26 new players, and I hate that's when they say it's Tony Dungy's team. 26 new players faces come into after Tony Dungy doesn't win and they win a Super Bowl. The problem with Cristobal is the same problem with Dungy. There's no killer instinct. There's no you're down and I'm gonna kick you. That's not there, and you see it in this team. You see the dog go away. We saw it with early in the year. They were dogs. They lose it somewhere in the FSU game. They lost it. Stanford, they got it back the second half, but something is not being unleashed with this team. But it has to start with Cristobal. I really think
It
it's
does have
that
to start.
mentality. I think it's his
It
mentality, and he's
it
a
does.
Saban guy. He's a
I
Nick
agree.
Saban guy.
I agree. I think that I mean we've seen it over the years. It's not just this year, but we've seen it over the years where they they were in positions to win games and they've had comfortable leads, and then those leads get eaten up. We saw it against FSU back on October 4th. And these players that are out there were starting to get upset. Now I will say this. I don't think that I think Miami has all of the makings to be a national champion, but they're missing two things. One, the killer instinct coach that they are missing, and two, the I'm gonna say it, the elite quarterback. I don't think Carson Beck is elite, man. I'm not seeing it from him. His throws are inconsistent. When he makes throws, and they're good throws, and I understand that. But he misses
But
good reads.
look at
He
he
doesn't check
does.
the ball down.
He does.
and
If you look at
he's
this
so
game,
inconsistent.
he hits JoJo Trader for a touchdown, throws a beautiful ball back to JoJo Trader down the, and the guy misses it because he's catching with his body and it gets intercepted. The last interception in that game is not Carson Beck's fault. That's unfortunately I have to put it on Malachi Tony because he didn't run the route properly again.
Well, and listen, I understand not all. You can look at any quarterback and look at their interceptions, and you can take probably a handful of them and put it on someone else, honestly. Yeah. Whether it be a tip pass out the line of scrimmage, whether it be just the receiver and the quarterback not on the same page as far as where they're supposed to get set. Bad catching, I mean, we can account for definitely a handful of throws. But I'm talking about it just seems like time and time again we have seen Carson Beck in big moments, and although he's played in big games and he has come through in big games, we're starting to see more inconsistency from him than we are than the other way around. And so that's what worries me about Miami as far as if they are going to be able to make a playoff push. Now they're ranked they're number 18. They have a big ACC game against Syracuse this week. They should go. They should, and oh my God, it's back in Miami. Who would have thought? But I mean, you guys, I think have had like 2 away games this
We have 4 away games and 8 home, so our schedule is friendly. I will say Miami has to blow everybody out from here on out. When I mean blowout, Cristobal has got to unleash Dawson, their offensive coordinator, and they got to run up the score. They got to go back to the Jimmy Johnson era, and Jimmy has one of the best quotes. I cannot justify the other team playing poorly. Our guys play 60 minutes, whistle to whistle, or hopefully they hear it. And if we put up 60, we put up 60. And if they only put up 10, that's just the way it goes. But you can't ask players to slow down. But Miami is in a tough spot here, man. Their defense isn't what's killing them. That's the bad thing. They're still one of the better ranked defenses. It's just, I don't know. I actually watched the game over with. And just countless times where there's not a hold call. Like, you literally can see them holding Reuben Bain. And then there's another controversy that they see an SMU player on the sideline getting a shot of something. And now that's being brought up to the ACC as well.
Well, yeah. I think, when it comes down to it, man, sports betting has completely... I think it has...
It's ruined. It's ruined the game.
It has had some, discrepancies there with the outcomes of the games for sure, especially when it comes down to the ref in any sport, let alone a sport now that is, making money hand over fist right now. So, but I will say this, you did say that the defense is playing well. The defense has been playing well. There's one thing that has been consistent, Carlos. If you score more than 26 points this year, you will win the game. So yeah. Carson Beck just needs to be able to put up 26 points. And I think, honestly, what they need to do is they need to go back to the run game. You look at every game that they have really dominated and really won the game, it's because they have played lights out on defense like they do every single week, and they have established a run game early, and they have consistently held it the entire game. Because then that opens up the play action. Then that opens up the one-on-one matchups with a guy like Malachi Tony. Those are the type of matchups that you want. That kid is an absolute freak of nature, and Carson Beck has an arm talent that can get him the ball. But when the pressure is on Carson Beck, whether it be actual pressure from the defensive line or just pressure of the moment, I don't trust him in those big spotlights. They do need to come out big. They do need to come out swinging on all of their. They got Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pittsburgh. You should win all those games.
They should have won the last 2. I'm not discrediting SMU. SMU is a good team. They got Jennings at quarterback. It is a good football team. What Lashley is building at SMU, he's heading in the right path. Until Cristobal, and you saw frustration this is the first time I saw frustration from Carson Beck getting in calls from the sideline. Like, he wants them quicker. And it looks like to me they're holding him back a little bit. I don't know why. There was a thing that came out that he's been hurt, but they don't have anybody else to fall back on. That he hurt the elbow again a couple weeks ago, and that's why we're not seeing us like just him unleashing. But Miami has, like you mentioned, a good run game. They should be able to use that. But Miami is really deep at wide receiver. At some point, man, what about spreading some people out a little bit? Let's make these linemen work. Pass blocking for an offensive lineman is very easy when it comes to energy level. Not that it's easy in general, but there's just too much talent there for them to have two losses and not make the playoffs again, and it's going to happen. Like they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think. Even if they win these four out, they need a lot of help. They need some people to lose, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's college. You never know.
You never know. It is college, but by the time that you guys are watching this, the first official playoff bracket will be out. It will be coming out later on this evening, the day that we are recording. So that was last night. But let's go ahead and let's shift gears to Florida State. Florida State played Wake Forest last week. Carlos, it has been lifted. The football gods and the ACC gods have come together and said it is now time for Florida State to finally get a W in the ACC, and that's exactly what they did against Wake Forest, against a good Wake Forest team who was coming in off of a 3-game winning streak, and Florida State was coming off of a 4-game losing streak, on top of an 8-game losing streak in the ACC dating back all the way to last, I believe, October, if I'm not mistaken, almost to the date. So, but they get a big win at home, 42-7 against Wake Forest. Carlos, this is something that it kind of pissed me off when I saw it. But there was energy in this team from the moment that that opening kickoff, from whistle to whistle. This team had energy. You saw it on the sidelines, guys on the sidelines jumping up and down, getting the crowd into it. And they just played with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. They were fast. I mean, they were playing absolute lights out. And it's frustrating for a fan like myself, because where the hell was this the last 4 games? We looked so flat in the water, completely just like a sitting duck the last several games, and then all of a sudden we decided to wake up against Wake Forest and put up 42 on them and keep them in check and get pressure on the quarterback, create turnovers. It's like, where the hell has this team been all year long? We saw that at the beginning of the year when we were 3-0, and then it just been like, meh. So, but it's the complete opposite for this team, Carlos, than the Miami Hurricanes. The Miami Hurricanes have had a very solid defense, consistent defense this entire year. Florida State, on the other hand, has had an absolute lights-out offense, with being led by Tommy Castellanos and Deuce Robinson, which, dude, the more I look at Deuce Robinson, man, the more I'm like, that guy, that guy is real special. So, But hey, I will take it. It's not like we're playing for anything. We know that we're not going to be in the playoffs there towards the end of the year. But you know what? Let's go ahead and start winning now to keep Norville around one more year for disappointment. That's all I got to say.
He's not going anywhere. They're going to win. They'll probably end up winning most of their games coming out. They got Clemson next week, so that'll be interesting. But you mentioned what they did. They got the man going, and with Deuce. Almost 30 yards a catch is ridiculous. 5 catches for almost 150, stop. But he's a huge part of their offense, man. Like when he goes, but they're in the defense, got the interception, fumble. It's that slump buster that they needed. They needed that win, but they needed to have a convincing win like that, and your star player has a big game. It builds confidence, and I've always said confidence is key. And if they start getting some confidence and can keep that going, keep that momentum going, it's big for them. Because we got, like you said, it's 2 teams going in 2 opposite directions right now. Florida State with that convincing win, and it's Miami with another frustrating loss at the end here that you're just like, what the heck?
Well, now this week we're going up against another ACC opponent, so let's hope that we can make 2 in a row with Clemson Tigers. Now, a couple of years ago, you play Clemson, powerhouse. I mean, forget about it. It's probably most likely going to be a loss. But Clemson is just coming off a loss to Duke,
Dude, yeah.
46-45, and then they also lost to SMU the week before. This Clemson team is not the Clemson team that we knew of just a few years ago. So I'm all about playing upset at this point. I mean, that's honestly what I would love to see Florida State do. Just go ahead and just make everyone's life miserable along with us. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what we're hoping for. But again, it's frustrating as a Florida State fan because then it's like, damn it, it's gonna keep Mike in his job, and I don't know if I want Mike Norvell to be continuing to be the coach of this team because I don't feel like I I don't know. Like I go back and forth because at the same time he has done really well with building a coaching staff. I like the coaches that they have there in Florida State. He's done very well in the transfer portal and he's gotten some good players. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's not translating, sir. It is not translating, and so it makes you wonder what that Jordan Travis led FSU team would have done if he would have never gotten hurt. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, it's a big question
You
mark
know?
there because if he wins a natty, he's not going anywhere, and that team was really
No.
really good.
Yeah.
They were just down to the water boy as quarterback, but it's
Yep.
interesting because they have a chance here to probably close the door on Dabo Sweeney. Like I can't imagine if this team continues to lose. This has to be one of the most disappointing teams with Clemson I've seen in college. They got
For sure.
two first rounders on the defensive side of the ball, and they've got the quarterback has been mentioned to go first round, and they've got other players on that offense that this is a good team. It's just poorly run. It's poorly coached, man. You can't have a first round corner, two first round defensive linemen, and your defense is giving up 46 to Duke. Stop! Like something is wrong.
Yeah.
Like you can't have that. So, but with Florida State, they got to go to Death Valley, and they've got to they're the surprisingly Clemson's the underdog here. But Florida State, man, if they jump on this, here's the thing: this is going to be a high scoring game. If it's a low scoring game, I'm done with football altogether. I quit. There's no way that this is not a high scoring game. I take that back. The one thing Gus likes to do is run the ball. Clemson still does a pretty good job at stopping the run. Duke just threw the ball. That was a crazy game last week. Like back and forth. Duke's way out and they come back, but
it might be a career game though for Castellanos. Like I mean, honestly,
it could be for
him and
both.
Deuce could come out of the gate real fast, and it could be a really fun game to watch with those two.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting with those two. I don't want to pick one of these guys. It's hard to because my mind doesn't process that Clemson is 3-5 and 2-4 in the ACC. My mind is not processing that. Not with this team that everybody thought going
Clemson
into
isn't
this
even
year.
in the top 10 in ACC.
No,
They're 12th in ACC right now. When was the last time Clemson was 12th in the ACC?
I don't even know. Dabo has been killing it there for many years, and it's just been Clemson's conference to do what they want to do, and
Yeah. Carlos, did I lose you there? All right. So, but you're all good. Well, Carlos, it should be, like you said, it should be a high scoring game this coming up Saturday in Death Valley. Um, so let's go ahead and let's see what will happen. Like I said, I'm all about playing spoiler alert from here on out with Florida State. Let's go ahead and let's run the table. Let's finish off strong. Hopefully, Miami has better luck than Carlos's technical issues right now. So, but I'm going to go ahead and land the plane here. Hey, if you do us a favor, if you are new here to the Beardzone Sports Talk, we're a smaller podcast, but we bring the energy every single week. We appreciate the love and support. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share it with your family and friends, share it with your Hurricane fan buddies, share it with your Seminole fan buddies, and tune into us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mondays and Fridays are NFL, Wednesdays are college football, and we enjoy bringing that for you. So, but our links are down there in the bio for all of our social media. Follow us on there. We post pretty regularly as far as like little clips here from the episode. And yeah, until Friday.